Hello and welcome back to my third video that I'm making today on the Season 2.5 changes. We've already looked at the Ultron trailer. I did a reaction to that and I did a reaction to the dev video. So if you want to check those videos out on my channel, I also give my thoughts on all of that. But now we have the balance changes so we can see what happens to all the champions, all the heroes, and all the team-ups going into Season 2.5. So I haven't read these yet. So we can read it first time together and I'll give you my thoughts and we'll see what's going on. So starting off with Captain America, he's losing 25 health. Increase the delay of shield recovery from 2 seconds to 4 seconds after unleashing a living legend. Increase the energy cost of his ultimate from 2,800 to 3,100. I don't think that will kill him off. I think Captain America's in a very, very good spot right now, so he needed a few nerfs, so hopefully he'll still be pretty playable, but just not too oppressive. I think that's a good change. Doctor Strange, very wordy, but essentially less damage fall off. And also his Maelstrom of Madness, which is his AoE ability, his explosion thingy, when he gets his dark magic, removed the range damage fall off, which I think is actually going to be a pretty crazy change. Because they started adding that damage fall off to nerf Doctor Strange, which I think was a big reason why he started being bad. So I would assume that this change will be a lot bigger than what people might think, and he'll probably become a meta character again. Emma Frost, we have increased the range of telepathic pulls from 15.5 meters to 18 meters. Now, if I'm not wrong, I think that's her primary fire. So more range on her primary fire. Decrease the shield value from 500 to 400. Increase the cooldown of Carbon Crush from 5 seconds to 6 seconds, which is a choke slam, I think. Decrease the hit damage of Crystal Kick from 50 to 40. And decrease the extra damage dealt when propelling enemies into the wall from 100 to 90. So a 20 damage decrease. I'm not sure if you can still one-shot with that combo. It feels like you can't, because 20 damage might just take it away from one-shotting. But, you know, an ally can finish the person off, or you can just hit them with your primary fire. So I don't think those changes will really hit her too hard at all. The shield value might, but the cooldown reduction and the damage reduction I don't think will hit her hard. The extra range will be really nice for her, though. That means she can hit flying enemies a lot more confidently now. Yeah. Those are, I think, overall pretty good changes to her. I think she might even be in a better position, really, just because of the range. But anyways. Moving on to Groot. Decrease the damage of Vine Strike per hit from 70 to 65 and increase Ironwood Wall's cooldown from 8 seconds to 12 seconds. So we kind of knew this was going to happen because Groot's been very oppressive. So less damage, less walls, basically. We knew that was going to happen. I feel like an extra 4 seconds on the Ironwood Wall might be a little bit too much, but we'll have to see. I'm kind of glad that's happening because he is a bit too strong. So Magneto increased the charging speed of rings from 4 seconds per stack to 3 seconds per stack. Is that with his, like, when he charges his knockback? I'm not entirely sure about Magneto's kit, but it says that he's going to be doing more damage, so slight boost to standard damage abilities. Magneto players, you got to win. I don't know what that does. Don't play Magneto. Thor. Adjust hammer throw ability effects to a standard ability. Remove the Thor force cost and the universal cooldown. Adjust the ability cooldown to 6 seconds. Thor gains 1 Thor force from each hammer throw enemy hits. Decrease the throw hit damage from 70 to 45 and the return damage from 30 to 20. Decrease the shield value gained when consuming Thor force. Adjust the bonus health gained from each Thor force consumed from 100 to 75 and adjust the maximum bonus health from 200 to 150. So he's getting less health. And then this first sentence I don't entirely get because I don't play Thor, but overall I think he's getting less survivability and his abilities are just getting tweaked, I guess. So I'm not entirely sure whether that's going to be better or worse for Thor with this first part, but he is getting less health. Duelists. So first we have Hawkeye. Increase the base damage of his arrow from 32 to 34. Reduce the projectile damage of blast arrow from 15 to 16 and the spell field damage from 32 to 34. Increase the maximum focus from 70 to 75. Increase the charging speed when aiming at an enemy from 100 per second to 108 per second. And charge fall off speed from 30 to 32 per second. So overall more damage with his base hits. His blast arrows aren't going to be doing as much. Or are they? The spell field damage on his blast arrows do more, direct hits don't. So he charges his arrow faster and it falls off slower. So overall, Hawkeye is just getting buffs across the board, which is interesting. So I didn't think he needed any buffs. I think he's in a pretty good spot. But we'll have to see if that kind of takes him a little bit out of control. It could do. I feel like he's just been slowly creeping up on the patches, getting buff after buff, so we'll have to see what happens there. That's the first change where I'm kind of like, maybe they don't need to do that, but... Hela increased the charge capacity of Knight Sword Thorn from 8 to 10, so she has more ammo. Great. That's the one thing that annoys me about Hela, you're always having to reload, so I like that change. I think that's a good change. Human Torch, reduce the damage of Fire Cluster from 7 per hit to 6 per hit, increase the charge speed of Blazing Blast from 2 seconds to 3 seconds, and decrease the shield value gain from Flaming Meter from 75 to 50, and increase the cooldown from 15 seconds to 20 seconds. So less shield, more cooldown, charge speed is higher, and damage reduced. So nerfs across the board. I don't know if these nerfs will hit him too much. His survivability is losing 25 health there and 5 seconds longer on his little dashy ability. I mean, 7 to 6 damage isn't much, but we'll see how that affects him. I don't think it's going to be anything too crazy. I think he'll still be pretty strong, but you know, the placebo effect of someone getting nerfed, maybe people will see this and think, oh my god, Human Torch is terrible now, but I'm pretty sure the Fantastic Four team-up is getting nerfed as well, so that will also affect him. So maybe with that, in addition to this, he might not be very good, but we'll have to see. Iron Fist, lower the dragon's defense, damage, blocked, bonus health, conversion ratio from 1.5 to 1.3, decrease the maximum bonus health converted from damage block from 200 to 175, slightly decrease the dash distance of Yatji Chungquen in the Z-axis direction when there is no target, reduce dragon defense's cooldown reduction from 1.5 to 1 second. Interesting. So he's just kind of getting nerfs across the board. Less damage, less survivability. I think that was needed because he is a pretty strong character right now. He is a force to be reckoned with. He's incredibly hard to 1v1, so that was definitely needed, and I think we all saw it coming that he was going to get nerfed. So good change. Iron Man, decrease the projectile damage of the third repulsor blast from 50 to 45 and decrease the spell field damage from 60 to 55. Reduce armor overdrive maximum bonus health from 100 to 50. I think this is great because the bonus health was kind of going crazy. It was kind of a sneak. It was a bit of a sneak change that people didn't think was going to be that strong. Kind of overlooked a little bit, and turned out to be amazing. So I think that was kind of needed. He's kind of been going crazy with that 100 extra health, and interesting with these damage nerfs. I feel like that is a pretty big damage nerf for him. So we will have to see how that plays out. Neore, increase the cooldown of Blessing of the Deep from 15 seconds to 20. Is this his bubble? I feel like it's his bubble. Maybe. Yeah, this is bubble. Expand his ultimate ability inner circle radius from 3 meters to 3.5 meters and outer circle radius from 8 meters to 9 meters. Decrease the outer circle radius hit damage from 200 to 180. Interesting. So his ultimate is bigger. His ultimate is bigger, and his inner circle radius is also bigger, but the outer circle radius does a little bit less damage. So easy to get hit, does a bit less damage if you're on the outside. Adjust monstrous spawn damage fall off from starting at 20 meters, reducing at 30 meters, at 40 meters. That's way too wordy. Basically, they do less damage. Or they do more damage. Hang on. Let me read that again. I can't get my head around that. That looks like a nerf to me. But it says his monster spawns are getting stronger, so it's not a nerf. They do more damage, I guess. Less fall off. Psylocke. Decrease the retrieval damage of wing shurikens from 14 to 12 per hit. Decrease the invisibility duration of psychic stealth from 3 seconds to 2 seconds. Interesting. I feel like the stealth duration will kind of hit her hard, I think. I don't know if the retrieval damage will be enough to stop her one-shot combo. I don't think it will, but maybe it will. The stealth might hit her hard, though, I can't lie. Squirrel Girl, increase capacity of Burst Acorn from 10 to 12, decrease the cooldown of Mammal Bond from 12 seconds to 10 seconds, and optimize the user experience. Interesting. So, shorter cooldowns and better Acorns. Yeah. Buffs across the board for Squirrel Girl. I don't think this will do anything too crazy to her. She'll probably just be the same as she is now. StarLord. Increase the energy cost of his ultimate from 3,100 to 3,400. Extend the maximum target range from 30 meters to 40. That's kind of crazy. Reduce the damage roll off from reducing to 60% of 40 meters to reducing at 75%. So he does more damage. Like across the board. Interesting. So it takes a little bit longer for him to charge it, but he does more damage and he can hit people from far away. Wow. Interesting. I feel like he was kind of dominating anyway, so that's an interesting change. Storm, increase the damage of her ultimate from 150 to 160 per second. I'm not entirely sure why that's a thing, but I think that might make her potentially need one less hit to kill certain HP enemies. We'll have to see about that, though. I do like that she got a buff, though, because I feel like she's in a bit of a meh position. The Punisher, reduced the movement slow rate of his ultimate from 20% to 10%. That's good, because he's so slow in his ult when not firing. From 40% to 30% when firing. Increase the magazine size from 30 to 40, single hit damage from 18 to 19, and slightly reduce the spread when firing. Okay, so easier to play with the reduced spread, and more damage, and bigger magazine size. That's kind of just buffs across the board for Punisher. We'll have to see how they play out. The magazine size is kind of huge, though, I feel like. Jeff. Okay, this is a mouthful. Should we do Luna first? Since Luna's right there, we'll come back to Jeff. Luna. Increase light and dark ice healing amount and damage from 20 per round to 22, which is her primary fire, which does a 3-round burst, so it'll make 66 overall every shot instead of 60, which is actually really good. Add a new effect to Absolute Zero, which is a freeze. Now grants 50 bonus health per enemy hit. That's going to add survivability to her. That's kind of great, I won't lie. That could be kind of big. We'll have to see how that plays out. But her ultimate cost is going from 4,500 to 5,000, which is pretty crazy, I can't lie. She already has the most expensive ultimate. So I have to see how that plays out. I mean, if you're a really good Luna player, you might not feel it as much because you charge your ult very fast. But for people that aren't as experienced on her, they might find that, you know, it literally takes forever to charge your ult. But with the kind of meta that's been going on in Season 2, that's definitely going to put her in a better position. And we'll have to see how that plays out. But I'm happy about her base kit changes, because that will feel very cool to play, especially if you like doing some DPS on her. Rocket Raccoon, reduce repair mode, direct hit healing amount from 55 to 50, so his direct hits are losing 5 healing. Interesting that they lowered that, because I feel like Rocket isn't in an amazing spot. He's not like overpowered or anything, but interesting. Jeff, okay, here we go. Add a new effect to Joyful Splash. Now also deals damage to enemies at 70 per second and can heal allies through other allies, but not through enemies. Damage fall off starts at 20 meters to a maximum of 65% of 40, reduced healing per second from 150 to 100. Joyful Splash. Is that his bubble? No, can't be. Joyful Splash. We have to Google that in a second. Change Aqua Burst to its charge ability, max 3 charges, and it's 3 seconds per charge. New effect, direct hits now launch enemies up. Increase the spell field damage from 40 to 45. Right. Change the effect of Healing Bubble from one-time healing to healing over time. Interesting. Increased healing amount from the previous instant 85 to 120 over 4 seconds. Reduce max charges from 6 to 3 and remove the enemy launch-up effects. Interesting, so he can't knock people off of his bubbles anymore. He does more healing, but it's over 4 seconds. So this is a nerf to his own survivability, I think, mostly. He now has less charges as well. So he can't just ridiculously keep himself alive anymore, which I think is great. Add a new effect to Hide and Seek, which is his ultimate, I think. It now has an energy cap, or is it? No, it's not. I'm lying. This is his underwater thing. It now has an energy cap that drains by 20 seconds while submerged and restores 15 seconds when not. Reduced healing while submerged from 35 seconds to 15. So he can't bubble himself with the healing over time new effects and then go underground and get the same amount of healing. He gets less healing while he's underground, I think. So the energy cap is really interesting. That means he can't just stay underground all the time, and it's going to be a lot easier to kill him, hopefully, which is a great change because he's been terrorizing matches. Good changes so far. The ultimate ability, Overflow Healing on swallowed allies, now grants 45 health per second as bonus health up to 150. I like that it's giving bonus health now. That's great. I like that. More incentive to swallow your allies and not just enemies. Increase the damage reduction received when taking a critical hit from 50% to 70%. Interesting. So he gets less damage reduction, less survivability across the board, and more focus on actually being up on the ground and not not under the water swimming around. These are really interesting changes. It's very wordy, so it's hard to see how it's going to play out because there's like 5 or 6 different changes there. But overall, he's not going to be as oppressive as a DPS flanker backliner, and he's going to be a bit more of a healer now, I think. We'll have to see how it plays out, but I'm happy with those changes. I think it's good that he's becoming more of a reliable, streamlined character and not just a, you know, one person in the world can play him really, really well. There's a handful of people that can play him really, really well as a flank DPS, you know. So I'm happy that he's getting more potential to actually be played as a healer and not just a weird flank DPS, you know. Team abilities. So if you didn't see my other video, we did go through some of the team ups and I gave my first impressions on them. However, now we can read the actual changes. So Lunar Hawkeye. Lunar Snow gains a 15% increase in healing effects. I think that's what she had anyway. Hawkeye unlocks a new Ice Arrow ability through his team up with Luna. So we saw that this Ice Arrow stuns, and it can stun multiple people, I think. It looks pretty good. Jeff Nado, you have to go see that if you haven't already. Storm gains the Shark's Surge ability through her team up. Jeff gains the It's Jeff Nado ability through his team up with Storm. Cool. Punisher Black Widow. So this basically allows Black Widow to shoot bullets that will hit a bunch of people in one, piercing shots. The Punisher gains a maximum health increase of 25 and a 5% damage, 5% boost in damage output. So he never had that before because he was benefiting off of a team up and he wasn't an anchor. So interesting that he's getting the health increase. Interesting. Very interesting. I feel like both of them might be kind of cracked with that. Rocket Raccoon Penny. Again, you also have to go look at this if you haven't already. Rocket gains a 5% increase in healing effects while the team is active. Rocket's BLB is upgraded to a web beacon. So basically, Penny can put down 2 of her nests. One of her nests now spawns armor packs. And Rocket's Revive has mines around it, essentially. Iron Man Ultron. Iron Man gets 5% boost in damage output. Interesting, so that's why he got nerfs across the board, which we read about earlier. Ultron gains a new nano ray ability, so he can pierce with his shots, and he also does damage and can heal in the same shots. which I don't know if that's going to be good or not. Feels like that might be a bit of a flop, but who knows. Then we have Venom Jeff the Lang Shark. So Jeff can attach healing tendrils to his allies, which heal. And Venom gets an increase of 150 health. Oh, but he was the anchor for the other Spider-Man team up. Okay, maybe that's not that bad. Hawkeye Black Widow removed. Raccoon Punisher ammo overload removed. Chilling Charisma Luna and Jeff removed. Gamma Charge Hawkeye Man Neore removed. Venom Penny Parker Spider-Man Symbiote Bond removed. Balance changes. Atlas Bond Iron Fist Luna Snow. The team-up anchor damage boost proportion is going from 15% to 10%, so a 5% nerf to Iron Fist damage. Interesting, he's getting nerfed furthermore. Fantastic Four team-up, we're slightly reducing the usage coverage of his team-up, so from 20 seconds to 25 seconds. Interesting, I don't think that will hit that hard. Hulk Neore, increase Gamma Monster cooldown from 15 seconds to 20 seconds. Interesting. So every 20 seconds you're going to get his laser turret now. So that might be kind of crappy for him. And then Emma Frost, Psylocke, Magneto reduce the proportion of damage caused by magnetic resonance and soul resurgence solutions from 30% to 20%. So 10% damage increase. That was needed because Psylocke be kind of going crazy with that team up. But honestly, again, Marvel Rivals devs kind of hitting everything on the head that we needed doing. A couple of things that maybe are a little bit questionable, but again, I trust the devs and we'll see if this increases the game quality. I know a lot of people have had a rough time in Season 2, including myself as a strategist. So hopefully this is going to be a much better quality of gameplay and hopefully a lot more people can start enjoying the game. And yeah, let me know what you think to all of these changes. Let me know in the comments, and do check out my other reaction videos if you haven't already. And let me know if you're excited for Season 2, because I definitely am, and I want to get my hands on Ultron, and I want to see how he plays. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching.